Hello everyone, it's Dan off of Hell's Addiction, and today I thought for a bit of fun I would do a kind of a rig rundown video. Not so much what I use but why I use it, if that makes sense. Also, this is going to be a very educational video for me when we finally get back to gigging, so I can remember how to use all my gear. So I'll tell you, the guitars that I use, the amps and the pedals, and why I use them. Starting with this beast. This is my Stonewolf Buckeye. Absolutely stonking guitar, built by those wonderful people, Mike at Stonewolf Guitars. It's a big slab of rock with bare knuckle aftermath pickups. It goes to every single gig with me. It just sounds absolutely amazing. First and foremost, with any rig, my kind of philosophy is, if the guitar and the amp on their own, no effects, sounds good, you're onto a winner. Killer sounding guitar. The other ones that I tend to use live are, if I can just grab it, is this, which is the Music Man John Petrucci Majesty, and this has got some serious output. It's exceptionally high output, great for leads. Killer sounding guitar. The real beauty of this as well is its clean sounds. You can switch to an acoustic sound, and I'll show you how. So if I switch to the clean channel on my amp and put a little bit of delay and chorus on it, and switch to the piezo, blend it with the magnetic pickups as well. So if I want to use these pickups and the piezo in the middle, it's just an amazing clean sound. Finally, I'll try not to keep my back to you too much. Finally, the guitar that I tend to record with, as well as the Stonewolf, is this, and this, again, bit of a beast. Matt Ellis at Axis Studios in Doncaster reckons it's his favourite guitar to record ever, and it's a Gibson custom shop R9, so it's a 1959 reissue, if you like. Again, just a great. Great sounding guitar. So we'll move on to the effects and the amp. Okay, effects and amplifier that is used not just with Hell's Addiction but with the platforms as well. The amp is a Friedman Brown Eye B100, really hot rodded. I hate to say it's a hot rodded Marshall sound, but essentially, that's what it is. It's based on the big Eddie Van Halen sound from the late 70s. Stunning sound. 3 channels. It's got a clean, a channel 2, which you just heard, which is the Brown Eye channel, and channel 3, which I'll show you later on in the video, is the Hairy Brown Eye. and that gives you all the gain for solos and stuff like that. So yeah, I run it pretty much everything kind of straight up, bass, middle, treble. One of the things that I learned very, very quickly when joining Hell's Addiction is that I needed to somehow be heard over Liam. And the amps I was using at the time, I think they were EVHs, sound amazing. If you are in kind of a one guitar band, absolutely brilliant. But when you're up against a monster that is basically a Les Paul into a Marshall, you're going to need something to sort of stamp your sonic space, if that's a phrase. So after much searching and a few amps, I stuck with the Friedman, and I will stick with it forever. So it's 100 watt amp head and the 412, and for those dorky of you to know, the top two speakers are greenbacks, the bottom two speakers are vintage 30s. So there we go, you get a nice big sound. As far as effects goes, I like to keep it as pretty simple as possible. I know some pedal boards, you see 150 pedals on there. I would say really the ones I would use all the time, delay, and it's the Strymon El Capistan. Or just a point, the delay and the EQ are running into the amp's effects loop round the back. And I'll explain what that does in a second. But the delay on my other rig is a Mesa Boogie rig. I use the Strymon Timeline, but for live purposes and whatnot, I just found the El Capistan just makes everything sound ace. So it's one of those pedals that makes everything sound ace. And again, I'll play that in a minute. This is also the solo boost pedal, or as we call the anti-Liam pedal, to get over his crushing big guitar sound. When my solo comes, I need this, and that's the important knob there. Just a tiny boost in your effects loop literally lifts your sound over everything, and you can be heard. Chorus wise, it's the Dreamscape, so John Petrucci chorus, which I found to be just kind of the nicest, fullest sounding chorus. I've tried a few, and this one I always go back to. It wins. Pedal I could never do without is this trusty Ibanez Tube Screamer, set really just to boost. So where your amp would have 3 channels, you've essentially, with the addition of this, got 6 channels. So you can filthy up your clean sound, add more gain to the channel 2, and then add even more gain to your solos. The POG is kind of the latest addition. I use this on a couple of songs. I think Masking Pain is one of them, and that adds an octave above and an octave below, and just gives you a big spread of sound, I guess. So I use it very sparingly. Wah Wah is the Jerry Cantrell, I believe, the Jerry Cantrell Wah Wah. I use it now and again. I'm not overly fussed with Wah Wah. I tend to forget that I've got it. So when I remember I've got it, I'll use it. And this, which is my wireless system Struck tuner, and it's the Shure GLX-D. It's a digital wireless system. Basically means whether you play small gigs or big huge venues, it's great, so you don't get tangled in your leads. And it's also, when you press it, it's also a tuner. So, and it cuts the sound off so you can tune quietly and don't annoy everybody else. That's pretty much all there is to say about the pedals. Yeah, I'll carry on and give you some sound demos. Okay, let's have a listen to what this all kind of sounds like when I add pedals to the amp and everything. So the amp, as I said, it's a 3-channel amp. So that's clean, no effects, nothing, it's just the clean amp. add again the delay in the chorus to that. It just and bring in the piezo. Okay, so that's channel 1. Let's turn the chorus off and the delay off. Channel 2, rock rhythm sound. So I'll probably spend 80% of the gig, apart from my solos, on this. Sort of classic rock sound, and hit the boost button. So this is essentially channel 3, or the Hairy Brown Eye channel. If I want even more, and a bit more fluidity, the tube screamer on top of that. And even more, hit the delay, and as I will explain, with the way I see delay is 90% for me as a player, and about 10% for the audience. They don't care. But as a guitar player, delay just makes everything a little bit more fluid sounding, just a little bit sweeter sounding. And as I say, it's an El Capistan delay with it's a dotted 8. I have the mix fairly low because I like to hear the guitar more than the delay. But it's kind of there. And then with what I call the anti-Liam pedal, or the solo boost, and on top, I don't know whether it's going to make much difference in the video, but we'll try. So okay, yeah. Oh, the pog. So. Massive sounding thing. And finally, if you want to hear the jerry cantrell wah, it's probably the best wah I've ever tried, and I've tried a few. And when I can remember to use it, it sounds a bit like this. So there you go, that's my rig rundown, and hopefully I'll remember all this when we see you on the other side. Stay safe, everybody.